Forensic investigators confirmed that 10 of the 11 victims showed zero signs of struggle. They did not try to escape. According to the evidence, every single one of them believed they were going to survive. On the morning of July 1, 2018, in the Sant Nagar neighborhood of Burari, North Delhi, a neighbor named Gurcharan Singh walked into the Bhatia family's home after noticing their shop had never opened. What he found inside stopped him cold. 10 bodies were hanging from the iron ceiling frame of the main hall, arranged in a circle, each one blindfolded, mouth taped, ears stuffed with cotton, hands bound behind their backs with telephone wire. In a separate room, the family's 80-year-old matriarch lay strangled on the floor. 11 people, one family, 3 generations, gone in a single night. There was no forced entry, no signs of robbery. Every piece of jewelry on every woman in that house remained untouched. Police had never seen anything like it. The Bhatia family was, by every visible measure, a completely ordinary household. They ran a grocery store and a plywood business in their neighborhood. Neighbors described them as warm, disciplined, and deeply religious. The oldest granddaughter, Priyanka, had recently gotten engaged, and the family had been preparing for a wedding. 3 generations lived together under one roof. Matriarch Narayani Devi, her 2 sons Bhuvnesh and Lalit, their wives, Lalit's widowed sister Pratibha, and 5 grandchildren ranging in age from 15 to 33. Nothing about them suggested what was quietly building inside that house. When investigators began processing the scene, the blindfolds and restraints pointed clearly to planning. Someone had organized this, but there was no suicide note, no obvious motive, and no evidence of any outsider's involvement. Then, inside a small temple room on the property, officers made the discovery that would reframe the entire case. They found a register containing 11 handwritten diaries. The earliest entry dated back to 2007. The final entry had been written the night before the deaths, and what was inside those pages was unlike anything investigators had encountered before. The diaries contained detailed ritual instructions that the family had been following in complete secrecy for 11 straight years. They believed those instructions came directly from the spirit of their deceased patriarch, Bhopal Singh, who had died in 2006. The man they believed was delivering those instructions was Lalit Bhatia, the younger of the 2 sons. After his father's death, Lalit had stopped speaking almost entirely for close to a year. The family believed he had lost his voice. Then his voice returned. Lalit told the family he had been visited by his father's spirit in dreams, and that following specific prayers had brought his speech back. The family accepted this without question. What followed over the next 11 years was a slow, invisible transformation. The diaries recorded a continuous stream of instructions. Perform this ritual, follow this prayer, keep all of this secret from the outside world. The family obeyed. Their business grew during this period. That prosperity reinforced their belief. The instructions became sacred. The secrecy became absolute. Not one family member, including the teenagers, ever told anyone outside the house what was happening inside it. Forensic psychologists who examined the case identified the condition as folie et famille, shared delusional disorder, a rare psychological phenomenon where the delusions of one person are gradually absorbed as reality by an entire group. Lalit had very likely been experiencing untreated PTSD and early psychotic symptoms since around 2007. Because mental illness carried profound stigma within the family and community, no one ever sought professional help. The delusion was never challenged, it was simply sustained, year after year, as faith. The final diary entry, dated June 24, 2018, described the culminating ritual, a 7-day ceremony called the Bad Puja, modeled on the hanging roots of a banyan tree. Participants were to blindfold themselves, bind their hands, plug their ears, and hang suspended from the ceiling. Lalit told the family that once they completed this step, a pot of water in the room would turn red as a sign from the patriarch, and every one of them would be released safely. They were not preparing to die, they were preparing to be saved. The post-mortem confirmed no resistance in 10 of the 11 victims. One victim, Bhuvnesh, showed faint signs of having tried to loosen his restraints, suggesting he may have realized the truth in his final moments. After 3 years of investigation, Delhi's crime branch officially classified the deaths as accidental, the result of shared psychosis. No criminal charges were ever filed. Everyone involved was already gone. the Burari case does not endure because it remains unsolved. It endures because it is completely solved, and the answer is more disturbing than any mystery. A stable, respected, financially secure family was destroyed not by violence from outside, but by untreated trauma, the silence around mental illness, and a system of blind obedience that went unchallenged for 11 years until it was far too late.